25 summers. So let's talk a little bit about why you feel as though the blood gangs corrupted or already corrupted system, which is the New York prison system.
Or rather, you contribute to the corruption of the prison facilities. Yeah, them dudes did that, man. Yeah, they did that, man. You know, the Doja moves. I seen a lot of after '93, man. You seen it frequently every day, man. The Doja moves. It's like they'd be sent to cut you, and you be in the middle of me and somebody else in the crowd of people walking. They send you up in the back, you cut you in the back of your head or in your face with a razor and all of that. And you know the OG sent them to do that, man. And personally, man, I think that's just the most cowardice shit I ever seen in my life. I've seen a bunch of people like walking down a tier, and then somebody sneaks up on a man, and then and stab him and poke him somewhere, man, and really hurt him real bad because they were sent to do that. And none of this stuff really started till like after '93 in there, man. So single-handedly, man, those dudes, man, they know the ones they is. They cowards, man. They did a lot of things to contribute to the destruction of the penitentiary. I said one time, man, in one of my mentions that there was a lot of good dudes. I say it again, there was a lot of good dudes. But yeah, to make up the bunch of them, yeah, a bunch of the puppies, man, they did a lot of cowardly acts, man. From ranging from snitching, giving up their material, to being sent on a Doja mission to cut somebody and then run and then all of that. Like, shout out to man West Bill, man, that just hit me up, man. He's from Pasadena, man, California, man. He's the one that sent me a letter and while I was in Attica and told me, stay clear, don't do bloods, man, because they food. For those that don't know what food means they're gonna usually get killed on sight because for starting something over here that they had no sanction to do or anything and mess it up and completely make a mockery of them. Them dudes is all enemies of them, man. And shout out to my family in Detroit, man. Them dudes feel the same way about these coward dudes that's in the penitentiary, man. So and I was there, I lived there, and so and I watched them. And like I told you, the ranges from giving up your material to snitching on another dude to having a plate. The plate means, this is your service. You gotta go and stab this guy. You gotta go and cut him.
So, what is your real problem with the Bloods, or do you have any real problems, with them?
Yeah, my real problem with them, man, is that there's some coward shit to do, and mostly all of the acts was cowards. Like, there's a few isolated incidents, man, where dudes step off, man, and let his nuts hang, and he did his thing right. But mostly all the incidents I witnessed in there were cowardly acts, man, where people being sent to do things that people wasn't ready for, or because he had more than the other guy had, man, and these OGs is starting to send this guy at him, man, and one to decoy and one to hit him and the other one to cut him, and then they all run and scatter. It's the most cowardly thing I've ever seen in my life.
So those would be called prison crash dummies, I assume.
Yeah, crash dummy.
Can you go into that?
Crash Dummy is one of those dudes that I said, and that name derived because those were the Blood Brothers, right? And they were crash dummies, and when they coming up in the ranks, they were taught that they will have to go and do whatever it is that they OG told them to do, whether it's go stab him, punch the officer in the face, cut the person standing next to the phone, whatever, they had to do it. And if they didn't comply and do it, then they would turn around and they would be fooled. By fooled, they would get executed, X out of the gang, and they would usually be cut or stabbed in the same way. And so somebody does that, man, might as well just put a helmet on and be a crash dummy, man, because he's going to send you into the wall anyway.
Who are usually the crash dummies? Young people, older people?
I seen it start out as youngers, the young ones coming into the gang, coming upstate. But as the years went on, it became older brothers too, man. Older brothers in their 40s and their 50s is crash dummies too, man. The mind's a terrible thing to waste. They ain't got no mind. What they usually do is they'll do anything, like I said, the OG tell them. And half the OGs is not even OGs anyway. Because Buck and all of them already hit me, man. A real OG is somebody, man, that clipped somebody. For those that don't understand what clip mean that he murdered him, he killed him. He killed him. He put his flag in his mouth, and then you became an official OG by way of your teardrop and all of that. These clowns up here in the New York City system, ain't nobody had a tattoo unless they put it on there themselves. They ain't killed nobody or anything like they running around razor tag and cutting people, making a mockery and some coward shit. And so what happens is now you make the real ones look bad, and so now we become enemies. And unfortunately, I'm living over here with these cowards, man. So I didn't have a real problem with them. I've been on the menu plenty of times, man. I've been in the menu like 5, 6 years of my bid. They know it's psychological, man. What I did to get off the menu, you don't wait to get off the menu, man. You get off the menu immediately, man. So I started doing inflicting damage to these dudes everywhere I went. So they waved the white flag, man. And eventually they get word. They got word to big homie SI. And SI said, yo, leave him alone, man. And that's how that went down.
Okay, so what would be your assessment of the gang? What gang is tough to you? What gang is soft to you? I mean, not to start any violence. I mean, you was there, you was behind wall with them. Who are people that would be considered cowards, but or people that would be considered tough or whatever in this gang structure? Who do you respect? Who don't you respect?
When I was locked up, right? Organizations and guys that hang together, the gangs, Cuban dudes. I had a lot of respect for that gang, those guys. Those guys came from a real rugged like jungle living, man, and they was known cut stabbing. I have respect for them, but like the Bloods, nah, they not like no real vicious gang dudes. They a lot of soft dudes made up living behind 1,000 dudes that's wearing red, man, thinking everybody's gonna bang for them. They wasn't real gangster dudes in my opinion. And a lot of the OGs, man, are not OGs neither, man, because the word is out, man. They where this originated from, they're not respected where they religion. So why should I respect them while I'm here? I'm doing what I do, they do what they do. But the problem I did have is I had to live in a penitentiary, and I had no other choice but to do my time. And doing the time under them, what they did to the penitentiary, what I mean by destroyed it, created jobs for the police and all of that. Yeah, man, in my book, man, they not no stand up brothers.
Who not standing
The
brothers?
blood
The
dudes.
Bloods.
Yeah.
Okay, so how about the Latin Kings? These is all just your opinions. How much? So who are stand up guys besides the Cubans?
Not just, a little bit of maybe a few of each are stand up. But for the most part, man, cowards reign supreme, man, in all organizations, man.
So in your opinion, what's the biggest coward gang in the New York prison system?
Yeah, that's a tough one to call, man, because um
Who are the biggest group of cowards?
the Bloods are the biggest group of cowards in the New York State Correction Facility.
The Bloods.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the prisoners know it, the officers know it. That's why they're being treated like that by the officers. That's why, they be getting banged on too by neutrals regularly. So yeah.
Like the editor would say, why are they the softest?
Because individually, man, they're not standing on their own tune. They're not letting their nuts hang, man. They only moving, man, in groups, man. They reading these books, man. They reading these 48 Laws of Power and these Mile-Shaped Tongue books and all of these Book of Five Rings, and they getting these false ideas. So they thinking moving in numbers means that this is the way you move, Genghis Khan or whatever. And then they jump you and all of that, and then they not warriors, so they run and then they disperse. So yeah, that's a cowardly act I seen. Now I've seen other individuals who stand up on their own, one-on-one Cubans fight with the knives. A lot of black brothers, they fight with their knives. But I have never seen the display with the like I seen with the Bloods. I mean, it'll take 4 people to jump on one dude, man, and they cut him, and then all 4 of them end up running, and then they all up getting caught, and then they end up telling on each other. So yeah, that's the coward group.